Good afternoon. Tragedy, branch of drama that treats in a serious and dignified style the sorrowful or terrible events encountered or caused by a heroic individual. By extension, the term may be applied to other literary works such as the novel. Although the word tragedy is often used loosely to describe any sort of disaster or misfortune or mishappening. It more precisely refers to a work of art that probes with high seriousness questions concerning the role of man in the universe. The Greeks of Attica, the ancient state whose chief city was Athens, first used the word in the 5th century before Christ BCE to describe a specific kind of play, which was presented at festivals in Greece sponsored by the local governments. These plays were attended by the entire community, a small admission fee being provided by the state for those who could not afford it themselves. The atmosphere surrounding the performance was more like that of a religious ceremony than entertainment. There were altars to the gods with the priest in attendance, and the subject of the tragedies were misfortunes of the heroes of legend. Religious myth and history, most of the material was derived from the works of Homer and was common knowledge in Greek communities. So powerful were the achievement of the three greatest Greek dramatists, Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides, that the word they first used for their play survived and came to describe a literary genre that, in spite of many transformation and lapses, has proved its viability through 25 centuries. Historically, tragedy of high order has been created in only four problems and locales: Attica in Greeks in the 5th century, that is before BCE, England, the reign of Elizabeth I and James I from 1558 to 1625, and 17th century in France and Europe and America during second half of the 19th century or first half of the 20th century. Each period saw the development of a specific orientation and emphasis, a characteristic style of theatre. In the modern period, roughly from the middle of the 19th century, the idea of tragedy found embodiment in the collateral form of the novel. Tragedy as a type of drama is a genre that explores human suffering, often through intense and emotional narratives. It typically involves protagonists who experience significant downfall due to a combination of their own flaws, fate, or external forces. Central to tragic form in the depiction of characters, we are larger than life but flawed in such a way that their flaws lead them to their inevitable downfall. These characters often face moral dilemmas, emotional turmoil, and inevitable fate, creating a deep sense of pity and fear in the audience. Aristotle, in his work Poetics, defined a tragedy as a drama that evokes these emotions and leads to a catharsis or purification of the audience's emotions. In a tragedy, the plot structure is often intricate with a beginning, rising action, climax, falling action, and the resolution that typically ends in death or destruction for the protagonist. The downfall of the tragic hero is not usually arbitrary, but it is often brought about by a fatal flaw known as hamartia, such as excessive pride, that is Herbie's jealousy, ambition. Hero's journey is marked by self-awareness and recognition of flaw, make tragedy so poignant. Classic examples of tragic drama include works such as Sophocles' Oedipus complex or Oedipus Rex, which protagonist's fate is sealed by his action and his ignorance of the truth. The Shakespeare's Macbeth, where ambition and moral corruption led to the hero's demise. The emotional experience of tragedy is powerful because it touches on universal themselves themes of human fragility of life and the consequences of personal choices. The tragic genre helps the audience grapple with complex emotions and human flaws in a way that is cathartic, offering a deep reflection on life, morality, and fate. In addition to emotional depth and complexity of characters, the setting and atmosphere in tragedies often enhance the dramatic effect. The backdrop of tragic drama is typically one that reflects the internal turmoil of the protagonist, creating an environment of tension, foreboding, or inevitability. The stage may be sparse, drawing attention to psychological and emotional aspects of the characters rather than external distractions. Lighting, music, and use of silence are all powerful tools that heighten the somber tone, often amplifying the sense of doom that looms over the characters. One of the defining feature of tragedy is concept of fate, often depiction of an unavoidable force that guides the course of events. In many tragedies, the fate and free with clash with characters struggling to change their destiny, only to realize too late that their actions have been dictated by forces beyond their control. This exploration of fate versus free will serve as central theme in many classical tragedies such as the Greek tragedies of Sophocles and Euripides. In Oedipus attempt to escape his fate only accelerates its fulfillment, reinforcing the theme that humans are powerful against destiny. Cyclical structure of rise and fall mirrors the tragic flow of the protagonist who, despite possessing great potential, ultimately succumbs to their inherent weakness. Tragedies often explore the moral implication of the protagonist's action, and these consequences serve as reflection of the broader societal or philosophical concern of the time. The protagonist's downfall is often not just a personal but has on the community or world around them. To Shakespeare's Hamlet, for example, tragic hero here is expressed as his inability to act led to the death of multiple characters, including his own, thereby affecting the entire kingdom. In this way, the tragedy is not only a personal crisis but also a commentary on the large issue of morality, justice, and the consequences of human behavior. In the cathartic effect of tragedy lies in its ability to make the audience comfort uncomfortable truths about the human condition. By witnessing the downfall of a noble character, the audience is reminded by the fragility of human life and the consequences of unchecked ambition, pride of desire, tragedy. Therefore, serves as both a mirror and a warning encouraging reflection on personal actions and potential consequences of these actions on others. Overall, tragedy as a genre continues to resonate with audience because of its exploration of universal themes like love, loss, guilt, ambition, and fate. Whether through ancient Greek plays, Elizabethan drama, or modern interpretation of tragic genre, endures because it speaks of the core of human experience, reminding us of our limitation and while offering a powerful emotional release. Then, in addition to this, we have to see the role of tragedy, role of irony, and some of the point related to tragedy. Then the tragicomedy we will continue in the next part. Okay, thank you. Good day.